Hi, everyone. Today on Ask the Trainer, I got a question from Texas, and Jay asks, how do I create a pause program with a coaches button? So before I answer that question, let's talk about coaches buttons and really what they are. So here I've got a coaches button, and a coaches button has a couple of things here. We've got the box that this is in, and inside that, under the lid, we've got an actual button. This is a momentary contact button. We're going to press that, and that's going to actually talk to an event bytecoder that's inside of here. This needs to connect to the 2-wire path, and then we can use this to influence. We can either use it to start, stop, or pause a program. Jay specifically asked about pausing a program. The other type of event bytecoder, or is not a coaches button, is just the event bytecoder itself. So this event bytecoder is designed to connect into your switch, an always on or always off switch. Those type of switches might be a light switch, right? You've got that in your office and your house, but a rain switch, like a click style switch, that's always on or always off. And this is meant to work with that one. So Jay was talking about the coaches button and how to program that. So for that, we need to switch over to Base Manager. Step 1 is to log in. We're going to make our way to the Schedules tab. And in the Schedules tab, we're going to find the program that we want to influence. By influence, we can start a program, we can stop a program, or we can pause a program. Jay asked specifically about pausing a program. Now, this is an entire program, not just one zone. So if I only have 1 or 2 zones I want to influence that I want to pause in this case, I have to make sure they're in their own dedicated program. So let's open program 4, which runs infield number 4. We're going to go to edit so we can make some changes. You can see that zones 23 and 24 are already in there. Those are the only zones that this pause condition will be influencing. Zones 25, 26, 27, 28 will not be paused by the condition we create. So currently there's a start condition, and that's a time to start condition. This program runs at 8 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Time is a start condition. We're going to create a new condition, and this will be a pause condition. So come over here to add a condition and select that. So remember I said I had options on starting, stopping, and pausing. Well, I'm going to select pause conditions from the dropdown. And the devices that can create a pause condition are essentially all the sensors that we have. So I don't want a moisture sensor, but I do want an event switch. A coaches button is a type of event switch that we talked about earlier. Now I have to make sure it's the right one because I have 3 event switches in my drop-down list. Fortunately for me, I've already labeled switch 1 as the coaches button. Switch 2 and switch 3 are just the bytecoders themselves. The limit condition is about when I press the button, does a switch open or does a switch close? Coaches buttons that come from baseline are normally open switches. They're momentary contact, normally open switches. So when I press the button for a moment, it presses the contacts and they close. So right now, I want to trigger this when the contact's closed. So when the contacts are closed, I want to take an action. Right now, the action is to pause. How long do I want it to pause for? Well, I'm going to give them 2 hours. Let's hit save. Now that I've saved it, we can review that program and talk about what's going to happen. We have an event switch pause. So when the event switch, which is serial number P00309, when the contacts close, the irrigation will pause for 2 hours. Now that's assuming the irrigation is running. So if someone comes up, the irrigation is running, and they want to pause the irrigation for 2 hours, they press the button while it's running, and it will go into a pause state for 2 hours. If the program is halfway through its runtime, it pauses that and then picks right back up when the pause condition ends. This does not impact my overall irrigation, and this is a great technique for giving a third party a little bit of control over your irrigation, but not giving them keys to the controller and not giving the Base Manager password. Have a question for me? Click the link in the description and go to hydropoint.com/askthetrainer to submit your question.